Drive Time Confessional Collective is gathered looking pensive. They have pencil and papers, though heaven knows why. But they're all here and ready. And if you have a confession, you can drop us a line. You can do it online, or you can send us an email, confessions@bbc.co.uk. This from Ian. Dear Simon, do you remember when the man at the door came from post office telephones? My story goes back that far. In fact, it goes back to the late 60s, early 70s. The story, as told to me some years ago by an older colleague, was based in one of those mysterious old GPO buildings. One of the people at this place, let's call him Tom, went for a walk one lunchtime and passed a certain men's outfitters and hire shop. Now, this was a time when even city gents were bowing to fashion, so someone at the shop had decided it was time to dispose of old-fashioned items, among which was a large stock of bowler hats. Tom used to love watching The Avengers and had always fancied himself in a bowler hat, so when he saw that they were on sale at the knockdown price of 10 shillings, which, of course, Rebecca was 10 shillings.
I can't do that off the top of my head.
50 pence.
50p. You're in charge of money.
I told you my brain's shrunk.
It was on the knockdown price of 10 shillings. He was delighted to buy one. Better still, the shop would even monogram the hat inside for you. Proudly, Tom returned to work wearing his new bowler hat and a half-suppressed smile of pride. Bill was there to greet Tom on his return. He expressed admiration for Tom's new headgear and told him how good he looked in it. Tom went off to work and Bill went to find the others because he'd had an idea. Half an hour later, Bill presented himself at the shop with a 10-bob note, 50p, the proceeds of a whip round, and bought another hat bearing Tom's monogram, but 3 sizes bigger than the original. Quietly, he stole into work, swapped the hats over on a peg, and hid Tom's real hat in his locker. Bill and his colleagues positioned themselves as discreetly as possible near Tom's hat peg when it came time to go home, pretending to be busy or in deep conversation. Tom approached the peg, put his coat on, and proudly placed the bowler hat on his head. Of course, it went right down over his ears. Bill and the others shuffled away to snigger to themselves while Tom inspected the hat, saw his name inside and tried it on again several times. Eventually, Tom went and found some newspaper, folded it up and placed it round the inside of the brim so that he could wear the oversized hat perched on his small head. In the morning, Tom reappeared and hung his hat and coat up. Bill waited his chance until later in the day and in a quiet moment swapped the hats over, but putting the newspaper inside the original hat. Home time came and his colleagues hung around again to watch Tom trying to jam his hat on his head and looking in consternation at the hat in the mirror. After several tries, Tom took the paper out, placed the hat on his head. A perfect fit. The next day, when no one was around, Bill did the dirty deed again, this time putting the big hat on the peg and hiding Tom's original. The procedure was repeated the day after as well, and each time his colleagues watched Tom trying to jam a hat on his head or having it fall over his eyes. On the 4th day, Tom didn't appear for work at all. His wife called in to say that poor Tom was off sick. He'd gone to the doctor. He thought he had a worrying condition, explaining that while he felt well in himself, for some reason his head appeared to be shrinking and then growing again. Ian says, do you think your listeners would grant absolution to Bill, who, though he made Tom a little concerned about his health, did him no lasting harm, helped to deplete a stock of outdated merchandise and gave the world a story, even though he had to be off sick because he had a very rare head complaint. It was getting bigger and smaller day by day. We turn to Brother Matt, first of all.
Does Bill have anything to do at work? He spent 4 days on hats and newspapers. He's got nothing to do. No, he's not getting... he's not going to get any forgiveness from me. He clearly is one of the most irritating people in the office.
Work-shy Ian, that's his name. Yes, Mother Superior.
Well, I think it was funny, probably, for the first time. And I think it's really quite mean to have done it for as long as he did and made this poor man think that there was something wrong with his head. So, no, I think you're a silly boy and I wouldn't forgive you.
Rebecca?
I agree with Matt and Sal. I think it was very mean. It was obviously very upsetting for him to have to take a day off or however many days he took off. And so, no, he's not forgiven.